Hi, I'm Christine, and I'm back from YouTube hibernation to record this reaction video to the teaser trailer for Daredevil Born Again Season 2. And I think we've established that this is pretty much identical to the one that was shown to audience members at New York Comic Con this past fall, which I only saw through like grainy, kind of sus secondhand footage. So I was very happy to see the full thing in high def. And while you'll see it playing next to me, I'm just going to assume that you've seen it like multiple times. And I will have it linked below in the description. And then just jump to looking at a bunch of different frames in excruciating detail, because that is what I do. So you will have a blog post associated with this video. I don't have comments turned on, but comments are always welcome on my blog. With that said, let's have a look at what's in this trailer, and I will have to say that it is perfectly matched to the lyrics from Lithonia by Childish Gambino, which is the song that's playing in the background, which of course you won't hear, but you've heard it already, and the lyrics are in the captions. So there we go. Of course, the way this starts out is with Matt and Karen in their cozy hideout, obviously very much, I don't know if they're back together. I don't know if this is like a situationship or what's going on, but something's going on. And Karen's putting on a record, an old-fashioned record player, and Matt looks very happy. And with that, we cut to one source of his unhappiness, which is, of course, Bullseye, or Dex, as we've come to know him. He's having, I guess, what looks like a milkshake, but I've chosen this particular frame because it matches the lyrics so well with "I did my job," which is probably how he looks at it. He was tasked to do a job last season, and of course, by the end, decided to go solo and do his own thing. But I do love how it matches up. We cut to the next frame I wanted to look at, which is "I paid my dues," which could, of course, be how you would describe this person from the ABTF, which, as you may recall, is the anti-vigilante task force that Fisk put together last season. And I don't know if this is maybe from like some kind of clip that's being shown to New Yorkers to put them at ease, or this could be a legit situation where maybe a lot of people who weren't really loving all the vigilantes running around are at least initially feeling much safer now that you have the ABTF there for you. And of course, they're recruiting a lot of the people straight out of the police force. So this woman looks to be, well, older than I am. And, but, she's meeting with, I guess, New Yorkers, with locals here out, playing chess. It all looks very nice. Which is also true of the next scene, well, part of the same scene, which I wanted to focus on, not just because it's got these kids in the foreground, but because it's got this nice poster of Fisk in the background. And I had to kind of zoom in and like pause it at just the right time to figure out what the poster says. It says Fisk on the top, but I think it says "Keeping NYC Safe," which would make sense. And then there's, I think, a phone number there at the bottom for people who are not feeling safe. Although maybe he will soon be the source of they're not feeling safe. You know what I mean? So we cut back to the lovers' den back at what I assume is like some storage area behind Josie's, with Matt and Karen dancing. And of course, "Love is for fools" is what's the lyrics that's matched to. And the "Love is for fools" carries over into like the next brief scene, which is Fisk and Vanessa and this lady, who is our first look at Lily Taylor playing an unspecified character, but I think the rumors are saying that it's going to be the governor. And it looks like they're having a good time. I don't think she has any reason maybe to suspect that what kinds of things he's really up to. I am looking forward to seeing where that kind of relationship goes and what the power structure in the state might look like. And with that, we go back to Karen and Matt still dancing. And of course, Matt is looking like he's picking up on something that's heading their way. And of course, that's matched with "Nobody Gives Up." And then that gives way to this big boom. And there's actually a nice way this repeats itself later on in the teaser that I'm going to get back to. I don't know who it was that said that history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. And that's very much true of this trailer. So one thing they're doing that's kind of cool is that they're doing like the change in the aspect ratio that they were kind of working with last season, and where when Matt was focusing on something, the aspect ratio would get wider, and in this case, you see the aspect ratio get sort of kind of square and squished together. It's obvious here that Matt's been attacked in some way by probably some kind of sonic weapon from the look of it, and I'm kind of curious about what's going on here, because it's weird that if this is really like a big boom, then that's actually like a physical energy at play. And it's weird that Karen doesn't seem to be affected at all, unless this is just some kind of super high frequency thing. Of course, this is like my science self getting like too nitty gritty into the details about this. I think this is just Fisk assuming that one way to incapacitate Matt would be to like attack his hearing, which is kind of interesting. This cuts to another couple of frames that are actually pretty sort of spooky looking. Some kind of propaganda and probably anti-Fisk propaganda from the looks of it. But it looks like in the first image, you see sort of the screen background breaking up a bit, which so it appears that he's filming from some kind of basement, and then he's got like some kind of background artificially added. Although in the second picture, it looks like it switched to just like all these like dots in the background that I don't know if they're blood, I don't know if there's something else, I have no idea what they are, but they look kind of ominous to me. Next, we're cutting to a look at the anti-vigilante task force when they're being less friendly with the locals, so to say. They're in full attack mode here. It's at night. It's coupled with the lyrics, "I feel liberated," which is interesting. This takes us to the first look at Matthew Lillard in some kind of character whose name is, I'm going to double check this, Mr. Charles. Very nondescript, doesn't give us much of a clue of what he's up to. He does appear to be, I don't know if this is like from the same scene as the shot that we just looked at, or if this is from some other time. It does look like the setting is the same though, and it also looks like it's a setting that we'll be getting back to later, which is sort of this huge Fisk prison that he set up. And good guy, bad guy, we have no idea at this point. Of course, we do have these missing posters going up all over town, and I'm glad they were able to find like a super happy photo of Matt. You can't really tell too much from this particular shot, but when he's putting it up, you can go back, look at the trailer in full and check that out. But there's like a number to call, and I guess there's like a description of him in the text that we can't really make out. This takes us to another shot of Matt where he is obviously in pain. Probably not the same kind of pain that he was in like a few scenes before this, but it's matched with over-medicated. I doubt Matt is over-medicated, but you can only stretch this, the parallels so far. But he's in a church, and this is a church that it looks like Jessica is entering in the next shot. One reason I wanted to look at this one in particular is that it's got this really nice sort of color symbolism where it's got a shot of Jessica's boots, and then as she's opening the door, she's entering into this sort of red space. And I just overanalyzed that as her walking into sort of Daredevil space because it's red. She's in this sort of red light, and she's saying one of the few actual lines in this teaser. "I hope you can walk because I'm not carrying you." So it looks like Matt is injured in some way, physically this time. She's not putting up with any bullshit from Matt, and that's how we love her. So the next shot is our first Matt in like the full Daredevil suit for this season. It's black. He is obviously in Fisk's prison, dungeon, cage area, which is huge, by the way. But he is There he is attacked by ABTF, because at least I assume this is from the same scene. And while I didn't catch it right here, you can see that he actually does throw his billy club and it hits like the guy on the forehead. Looks very violent. This cuts back to Dex again. We don't know where Dex is. He is prone. He's lying down somewhere from the looks of it, or at least leaning back. He's been injured, but he looks like he's having a good time. And of course, the cut here to the next scene is kind of curious, because this is Matt as Daredevil reaching out his hand, pulling someone off the ground. And we don't know who that person is. The way they put this together, we may be thinking that it's Dex or something, that they're teaming up. Although I still suspect that this is maybe somebody else, maybe Jessica, maybe somebody else we don't even know about yet. But I do think these are back to back in order to trick us a little bit. Next, we have Matt and Karen Karen is looking, very determined, let's say, walking ahead of Matt, wearing, again, the black Daredevil suit. He's got the double D's in red. They look handmade, which is interesting. Next up, we have this shot of what looks like it's in the suburbs, or it could be in one of the outer boroughs of just a house, and a bunch of people. Are they ABTF? Are they somebody else? We don't know. Charging a house. Next, we are in Fisk's office, and Daniel is clearly under a lot of pressure, and I think he's not the first character we're going to see. We're also going to look at Heather later on, who are maybe rethinking their life choices in this administration at a certain point. It's got this, I can tell by the look on your, and then it just never finishes the sentence. I assume it's face, which then takes us back to Jessica, who is having a good old time in this weapons warehouse, just throwing her weight around. As you know, she does have enhanced strength. She's got a great resting bitch face to rival that of my cat. I should probably put in a picture of my cat with her resting bitch face, just as a comparison, but trust me on that one. Which, of course, takes us to the only other scene in all of this, besides the Jessica Jones one, that actually has characters speak on camera. And here we have Buck and Daniel obviously looking down into what is the trunk of a car. I'm assuming there's a body there, and this saw or shovel is actually a nice, for me, reminder of what Fisk went through as a child and back in season 1, where he dismembered his own father after killing him with a hammer. So I guess this is just like life according to Wilson Fisk. And if you're in his orbit, this is the kind of stuff that you're going to experience. The next shot is maybe not that interesting. It's just like these explosions. What I did find noteworthy about it was that these two explosions are very obviously going off at the same time. There's one underwater, there's one at, I guess, on land, but in the dock area. I don't know if this is in the Fisk's private port area or someplace like that, or what's going on here, but because it does look like it's been, rigged to go off at the same time, it looks like someone is making some kind of major move. So I guess we'll wait to see what that's all about. Next, we have Matt as Daredevil, which I think this is probably just connects to the previous scenes where he's entering this big prison area, where we see just these two lines of just cages that just go on forever. I guess it's like a go big or go home moment for the creators here, because that is just so insane. I do find it interesting that they're all in cages where they can talk to each other. I mean, this would be like a perfect place where you would plot against somebody else, unless, of course, Fisk's got, microphones and cameras around, which he probably also does, but it is kind of crazy. We next cut to Heather, who, of course, at the end of last season found herself with a job offer from Fisk as his mental health liaison or whatever. And this shot, the way it's filmed, it's tilting, and you can also see that Heather looks pretty distraught, actually, and she's also like swallowing, which to me suggests that she is also someone who is rethinking her life choices and wondering what the heck she got herself into. I hope she comes out like a hero at the end, because unlike a lot of people, I actually quite liked Heather. And, was she the perfect match for Matt? No, but I mean, she had a pretty rough first season, let's not forget. So I think people need to remember that maybe we should, cut her some slack. And next, we cut to this protest outside of court, and this is the scene that I'm wondering whether it's connected with the scene of like this house and the agents entering, if it's possibly that someone who's obviously innocent has been put on trial for something, some bogus claim or something, and there's even a picture of a guy in there. I guess we're going to learn who he is. The next shot of Fisk boxing is one that I am curious to learn whether this is actually a real scene or if this is something that's happening inside Fisk's mind. It just seems like if this is something that these are matches that he puts on in public, that seems kind of crazy to me. Although it could be, actually I just thought of something just now. Maybe like the people, like this person that he's boxing is like one of his prisoners that he's taken out just to like rough him up. That would be wild. What if that's it? Wow. And of course, both him and Heather in the previous shot have their scenes are lined up with the "what have you done" part of the lyrics. So something to think about. And we cut back to I paid my dues, and someone who's paid her dues is obviously this ABTF woman here who's high-fiving kids, having a good time, doing some outreach. We cut to Matt, who also feels very strongly that he's paid his dues. This is a scene that I know a lot of fans have been talking about because it's him sort of sparring with Karen. I don't know whether they're just like doing some like light Tai Chi or something. It's been speculated that either he's teaching her or she is helping him recover from whatever knocked out his hearing earlier on. We have no idea how long that's going to be a thing, but obviously that's going to take some time to recover from. It could also be just like a physical rehabilitation from whatever else happened to him that had Jessica talk about, I hope you can walk. But I really think at this stage it can be read either way. It's not obvious to me whether this is like Matt helping Karen or Karen helping Matt. And next is a shot of Foggy Nelson. I have high hopes for Foggy and Foggy's return. However, I do think we can be pretty certain that this is a flashback scene, and it may even be a scene with his client Benny, who was the person to get him killed in the first place and was the case that Karen and Matt were looking into at the end of last season, and which was the one that connected them to the Freeport. And it could be interesting if it's a flashback to something that only Foggy experienced, so that this is only for the benefit of the viewer and that Matt and Karen don't necessarily have, sort of access to this knowledge that's presented to the viewer. And here we have a nice, very cool looking scene of Daredevil fighting at Josie's. Next is where I feel like the lyrics and sort of this whole teaser trailer kind of rhymes with what happened earlier, where you had Karen and Matt dancing and then you have that bomb go off. Here you have the exact same thing happening, set to the exact same lyrics from the song, and this time it's not a bomb that's specific to something that would make Matt vulnerable. It's the other way around, so that you can see in these 3 frames in quick succession that this is some kind of photo blast of some kind meant to actually blind them. And I think that may be the reason that Matt as Daredevil, if this is from the same scene, could be a different one, but why he looks so pleased here at the end, because that would be perfect retaliation for what happened to him at the start. Very much looking forward to seeing more footage between now and March 24th. I assume there's going to be more. There was plenty last time. There's going to be more for me to react to. And I will have to say, if you haven't watched Wonder Man on Disney Plus, you must. They did something very different where it's just not a traditional superhero story, but set very much in this universe and really using the new universe to its full potential, and really enjoyed it. Check that out if you haven't already. And yeah, let's count down to Daredevil Born Again Season 2. Bye.